And they're scheduled to go for 12 rounds. Both fighters know this is a very quick time to have a rematch, but they too are ready to go for what to expect tonight. For Jerry Clarke, he seemed to walk into a hornet's nest when he fought the last time in March. That was Twin Falls, Idaho. And he says that he's ready to go here tonight against the champion. How will he change it? We'll find out as we get comments. First of all, from Jerry Clarke and the current champion, Carl Sklavos.
Hi. I think the main factor for me losing my title to Carl Sklavos was the fact that I didn't listen to my corner. This particular fight, I'm mentally prepared, physically prepared, and I'll do anything my corner tells me to do. I want my title back. I want to bring it back home to Tampa Bay, Florida.
I'm here to fight Jerry Clarke for the World Flyweight title. It's my title now. I just took it away from him, and that was a month and a half ago, and I'm looking forward to a real hard fight. The last time I fought him, I don't think he gave me 100%, and I don't feel I fought 100%. You know, we both just kind of got our feet wet in fighting each other, and I expect to go home with my title. And Jerry wants to take it away from me, so that is, you know, it's got all the makings for a real good fight.
Well, both of them
8 feet 8 inches tall, and he weighed in at 121 pounds. He has a contact karate record of 30 wins, 8 losses, and 2 draws, with 10 on 120 pounds. He has a contact karate record of 13 wins, no losses, and no draws, with 4 of his wins by knockout.
Ground, and he knows mentally, along with physically, he's got to be ready to fight tonight, John Warlick.
When he went to Twin Falls, he was real negative. Things hadn't been going well for him. And Jerry's a guy that gets affected by that sort of thing. He's very fragile in that way. Tonight he says he's ready. He feels like he's been prepared for this fight now. He wants the title back very badly. Carl Sklavos wants to keep it just as badly, and here we go.
Well, as we get ready for a scheduled 12-rounder, this is round number 1. Which fighter do you expect to come out and maybe kind of carry the fight early, or will they both kind of test each other early, John?
I think probably they'll go fairly light in the first couple of rounds, again, to kind of get into this thing. Neither one of these guys has a lot of knockouts. Both of them are used to going the distance. They're used to winning decisions. I don't expect it to be a real smoker. Not in the early round.
Carl Sklavos, the young man in the black pants here tonight, fighting Jerry Clarke in the red. And again, Sklavos has not lost. He's won 13 consecutive fights, and he's had 4 of those by knockouts. Of the 38, make that 40 fights that Clarke has enjoyed, he's won 30 and had 11 knockouts. So the ratio indeed is not high, but they do possess, of course, the great karate skills that can move a knockout at any moment.
At 120 pounds, both of these fighters really almost fly around the ring. Their feet hardly touch the floor. Jerry Clarke has the fastest spinning back kick in the sport. He gets around quicker and faster than just about anybody that's done this game.
This, by the way, is scored by the 3 judges at ringside on a 10-point must system. Each fighter must throw 8 hard kicks per round. Now, if they should miss a kick in a round, and you don't anticipate these caliber athletes to do so, it would be a point deduction. If you do so in 2 consecutive rounds, the fight is over.
Nice round kick done by Jerry Clarke. Sklavos seemed to be caught up a little bit. He threw a spinning kick that got hung in. He pulled out and relaxed, and Clarke really wrapped him with the back leg round kick.
They are standing in the wings here in a capacity crowd at the Special Events Center. It is a sold-out crowd to watch this World Championship rematch on March the 20th in Twin Falls. And now here we are in the month of June, and they're already fighting again. And Clarke looks like he definitely is coming here to take that title back.
Starting to heat it up just a little bit now as the first round winds to an end. They've kind of gotten back acquainted now. This is 13 rounds that they've gotten to know each other, counting the rematch.
Closing seconds of the first round. It's a slip there by the champion Carl Sklavos. You hear the bell sound, and the round is over. Both fighters will go to their corners, and it'll be interesting to see how the strategy between first, second, third, fourth, and ever how many rounds we'll get from these fighters tonight. We'll be able to change to see which fighter is able to adapt to the other's style throughout the fight tonight.
It really will be an intelligent type of a fight for both guys, because they both have good technique. They're going to have to think. They can't go out and physically just overwhelm the other fellow.
For round 2, and there's the bell. And Clarke wastes no time coming out with a spinning kick again. How about the first round, John?
I gave the first round unofficially. My scoring is unofficial. I gave it to Clarke 10-9 based on the strength, really, of a couple of good right hands that he landed and the round kick.
Jerry Clarke coming out. Spinning kick over the top of the head. Both these fighters, by the way, Sklavos is only 5'4". Clarke is 5'8".
A big reach advantage for Jerry Clarke. Sklavos, though, is used to fighting guys that are taller than him. Everybody he fights has more reach than he does. So it's not something that he hasn't seen many times before.
Jerry Clarke was the world title holder of the flyweight division, won that title in 1984 by defeating Felipe Garcia. But he's in with another toughie here tonight. Once again, the current champion, Carl Sklavos.
Clarke doing something. There he catches a left hand. He kind of relaxed a little as Sklavos came across, but Clarke is picking his shots very well. He landed a good left hand on Carl Sklavos in a flash prior to this one. He's doing some holding there, which is really not allowed in sport karate. Fighters are not allowed to clinch, allowed to hold, but we're seeing that a little bit on Jerry Clarke.
Referee Tony Thompson from nearby San Jose, California will be watching that. As you saw the kick attempt there by Sklavos and a spinning back fist, just barely missed the mark that time by Jerry Clarke. They call him the Sting, and that one, I guess, would have the biggest sting of all.
It would have stung. Clarke covering up and taking some Sklavos punches. Well, these guys are really doing a lot of turning, a lot of spinning back fist. They're trying to set up the spinning back kick by throwing the spinning back fist. If they throw the spinning back fist properly, it draws the opponent's hands up, opening up the body for the spinning back kick.
Closing seconds of this second round, scheduled for 12. Many at the weigh-in, and those experts that follow the sport anticipated this one to go to the distance. We have seen nothing that would change our opinion as we close in on the end of round number 2 tonight of the World Flyweight Championship. A rematch between the champion Carl Sklavos and the challenger Jerry Clarke. We'll continue with more of our action from Lake Tahoe. Time out. As he waits patiently, by the way, he's being worked on well in the corner. Walt Mason is over there with him. And he comes out of the corner and is met promptly by Jerry Clarke, who comes out throwing. Scoring through 2 rounds. John, how have you got it scored so far?
I've got Clarke ahead 19.5 to 19. I gave him the first round 10-9, and I gave the second round to Sklavos by a half point. So this is a close one so far.
They went the distance in the championship fight in Twin Falls, Idaho, March the 20th of this same year. Wasted no time in saying, hey, the rematch will come. The location was still up for grabs, but it was determined here in Lake Tahoe. And the fans have turned out in good numbers to watch these two youngsters fight, both 24 years of age. No knockdown.
Situation where a kick hit Clarke on the shoulders as he was starting his turn, knocking him off balance. There's no knockdown there because the shoulder is not a legal target area, the back of the shoulder.
John, you made a mention that you're seeing these guys doing a lot of spinning tonight. Is this abnormal spinning for these two fighters?
It's sort of abnormal for Sklavos. He's not a guy that spins as often. Clarke does a lot of spinning. And Sklavos looks like he's maybe studied a little bit and taken a page out of Clarke's book. He's thrown a lot of spins himself. And you'll see the smaller, the lighter weight fighters more apt to do that, to jump and spin, than you will the larger, heavier fighters.
John, how much difference have we seen? There's another slip by the champion. How much difference have we seen from the fight in March than we're seeing here in the early 2 or 3 rounds now?
Jerry Clarke seems to have a different look in his eye. He seems to be somebody that's really out here to win rather than just to fight not to lose. He's got to win. He has to win.
There you see some more spinning by Sklavos. By the way, he got a good spinning back kick in that time a moment ago, but a round kick by Clarke answered very nicely off the ropes. As you see the time as we near the end of this, the 3rd round, 2-minute rounds, 1-minute rest period in the scheduled 12-rounder.
You know, this match seems to be pretty slippery. I've seen both guys seem to have trouble standing up as they slide in to throw kicks. They're sliding around.
And there's the bell to end this, the 3rd round. And that one, as a matter of fact, is going to be a rather even round once again as we watch Jerry Clarke come to the corner. Bill Schlinker is the main man working with him in his corner here. And again, Jerry the Sting, the former champion. Only 8 losses and a couple of draws, along with 30 victories, would like to regain the title tonight. And so far, other than a little bit of a shaky second round, even though it wasn't that shaky, it was a very tight second round, he's been very much in control of himself.
Both fighters really have looked awfully sharp so far. Just throwing combinations so fast. Both of the guys throw kicks and punches in rapid succession, spinning, jumping. There's a nice kick to the head. Clarke slipped that kick to the head wisely there to keep from catching it right on the jaw. We're going to see that same thing again as he comes around, throws a back round kick, and then steps through and throws a spin. Right at that time, up under the elbow, going into the body. Those body kicks that come in straight like that with the heel hurt.
Carl Sklavos, the current champion, 121-pounder, 24 years of age, 5'4". He's the pride, by the way, of Twin Falls, Idaho. scoring through 3 rounds now. You still hadn't settled anything there, John.
I've got them just dead even, 29 points apiece. About as close as you can get.
Oh, a beautiful spinning kick by Clarke, sending Sklavos backwards, and he missed with that spinning back fist again. And the Sting, who, as John pointed out, has a little different look in his eye here tonight, wanting that title back. And the young and talented Karl Sklavos making his first defense, trying to hang on to it.
That was not a wise kick for Sklavos to throw. The spinning back kick that goes around to the back of the head left him vulnerable to counter attacks, and he has more than one time tonight been countered by spinning. Nice left lead then. Clarke throwing technique from all different angles. He hits right, left, spins, kicks from the other side. Nice series of combinations.
Clarke kind of trying to bait now Sklavos to come in on the ropes. Spinning back fist, catches him on the shoulder. It, as John indicated, a very even fight after 3, scheduled for 12 rounds. And again, they keep looking at each other, and it's almost like looking in a mirror sometime, the way they have fought each other.
Good combination, then defensive combination by Sklavos. He waited for Clarke to make the move and then hit him with 3 hands as Clarke stepped in. Good left hook then again by Sklavos. Clarke following up, though, never even blinked. Came right back with a spinning back kick.
Sklavos seems to be very inside of himself. He seems to kind of be keeping everything very tight right now. Not too, what we call loose. He's doing very good inside.
You know, I think he probably decided, well, in throwing too many of these spins, it's time to back off of these things and fight a little more conservatively and try to catch Clarke as he makes his first move, which he's done pretty successfully.
Jerry Clarke in the red, Sklavos the champion in the black. Exchanging left hands and a good left hook and another left hook by Sklavos as the bell sounds to end the round. And a flurry by both fighters kind of gets this crowd all excited as both fighters head to their stools at the end of the 4th round. Good look at Karl Sklavos, the champion now. Walt Mason, by the way, is working outside of the ring with him tonight. Let's take a look again. Those left hands really were scoring well. There's one.
You see there, Clarke comes and spins out and throws that little short reverse side kick or jump back kick. It just digs in there. You feel those. They don't look like they hit all that hard, but you feel those when they come up around your ribs.
Jerry Clarke in his corner now. Bill Slinker looking on, trying to encourage him. He's fought a very good fight. Of course, the other side, he's fighting the young man that has the title and took it from him.
The thing Sklavos did in the last 30 seconds of the last round was to hang back, let Clarke make his initial move, and then to land combinations just like this. He's hitting him defensively. As Clarke steps in, Clarke threw 2 punches that came kind of wide. Sklavos hit him with 3 punches on the inside. That's really the smartest thing he's fought so far, smartest thing he's done.
John, I think you can write down one word as you hear the whistle to get the seconds out. So we're ready for round number 5, is conservative. He's trying to pick his spots a little bit more than he did early. As you pointed out, spinning wildly, trying to match that of Clarke, and now he's fighting his game that he wants to win to defend this title with.
I gave that last round by a half point to Sklavos based on that last little flurry right toward the bell. So he's up 39, 38 and a half. Again, my scoring is unofficial. 3 judges at ringside are scoring on a 10-point must system. They give 10 points to the guy that wins the round. They give 9.5 points or less to the person that didn't win.
By the way, there are standing 8 counts in the World Championship, but no 3 knockdown rule in the world title fights.
Clarke now seems to be biding his time a little bit. Maybe he's a little hesitant to take that first step because Sklavos was countering him so effectively in the 4th round.
Let me play a little bit of those that kind of give you the fear when you come 6,200 feet in the air. How about the altitude for these 2 youngsters? Any problem?
The Twin Falls is about 4,000 feet, so it really shouldn't make a whole lot of difference to Karl Sklavos. However, Jerry Clarke's down there in flat, low Florida, and I'm sure that 6,200 feet is something he's concerned about.
So maybe a little bit of slowing down as he doesn't appear now as he started to shift it into another gear. But again, that's something to watch here.
He threw a nice left hook and followed with a round kick that Sklavos kind of moved and ducked into, and Sklavos felt the round kick. Got a little blood coming out of Sklavos' nose. I think that he ducked himself right into that round kick.
Jerry Clarke in the red, Karl Sklavos defending the title in the black.
Clarke throwing that round kick nice and low, trying to pull Sklavos' hands down. There he goes again. I bet you'll see that round kick come up to the head now in just a little while.
Sklavos, of course, is the natural left-hander. He does, I don't think, switch much at all. He'll come from the left side pretty much, won't he?
He stays south on, I think, almost all the time.
Closing seconds, around number 5. Again, as John has indicated, an extremely tight fight here tonight. As both fighters once again continue as we near the end of round number 5. We'll be back. Just completed. Carl Sklavos along with Jerry Clarke. Clarke, again, a little wild here in this fight now, John.
He's lunging a little bit. I think he's trying to come across real quick to try to keep him getting hit on the way in. There's that turning, that little tight turn that Sklavos does. He comes around real nice with that.
So as the referee, Tony Thompson, greets the fighters in the center ring, Carl Sklavos comes out with a good left hand. And now how about round 5? How did you score that one, John?
I had that round dead even. I've still got Sklavos up by only 1/2 of 1 point. Well, both these guys are just throwing unbelievable combinations, kicking and punching combinations.
I think one of the most vicious part of full contact karate when you watch it, the way they come out of a clinch or a break. Now, you can't hold, of course, but when they come away, you not only have to watch for 2 flying fists, but here come 2 legs at you. And that's exactly what we saw a moment ago. It is absolutely devastating when you come out of those clinches.
Well, if you think about it, when you start your attack, you've got to get inside the front leg on the way in, then you run into hands, and then as you back out, you run into kicks again. It's just kind of discouraging sometimes.
By the way, we'd like to remind you, Tuesday, September the 23rd, that'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern here on ESPN. Will it be the number 2 ranked man, Curtis Bush, coming up with a North American welterweight title? He'll fight Robert Visitation. You'll find out as the ISK Championship Kickboxing continues on ESPN Tuesday, September 23rd.
Good spinning back fist in by Clarke, landed up high on Sklavos' forehead, made a nice thump. Didn't seem to bother Sklavos in the least, but did score nicely.
Halfway through this, the 6th round, scheduled for 12.
Clarke fighting a little more effectively in this, the 6th round. He's landed several pretty sharp punches. There
Big
again.
right hand, was it ever.
Sklavos landed one on the first step, and then Clarke hit him a little harder, it seemed.
Sklavos didn't even seem to flinch when he was hit with that right hand.
For a little guy, he's got a big neck, though. Look at him. He's got a pretty thick neck. Clarke's kind of got a skinny neck.
But the sting can hit you with a lot of power.
He takes a good punch, too. He's going to hate me for telling him he had a skinny neck.
I tell you what, I think Jerry Clarke, I think he's tiring a little here, John. I really do. I think the altitude may be catching up just a bit with him in this 6th round.
You know, they're not going quite as hard this round. This might be a little bit of a rest round for Jerry Clarke.
And there's the bell as we end the 6th round. Both fighters will take that 1-minute rest. And again, watch as Jerry Clarke comes to the sideline, and they're really talking to him. Bill Slinker along with Dave Murray over there. And this altitude of over 6,200 feet at beautiful Lake Tahoe, which, by the way, is the 3rd deepest lake in North America, as you take a look at Sklavos.
Sklavos landing a good defensive side kick. He's trying to keep the right hand from coming across and landing. We're going to see Sklavos again. There's a spinning back fist. Sklavos actually looked on the replay there like he may have picked it off with his glove. Maybe that's why he didn't seem affected by it.
So as the fighters who had good 6th rounds there, including this man, Carl Sklavos, a lot of people said, yeah, you won the title in your hometown, and now he's having to come out and prove it because that's the name of the game in his first offense against the former champion, Jerry Clarke. Again, won that title in '84 over Felipe Garcia. No slouch in his own route to win that title.
No.
And he has successfully defended it until he ran into Sklavos last March. There's the bell, and we're on the way, round 7. How about through 6 now, John? How's the card look?
I gave that last round 10 to 9.5 points to Jerry Clarke, which makes it an even fight, 58.5. Clarke seems to have rested a little bit, trying to come out stronger in this 7th round.
Unofficial numbers from our analyst here at ringside, John Worley. This is Sam Smith at Hara, Lake Tahoe, and we're glad you could join us. International Sport Karate Association Flyweight Championship. Carl Sklavos, the young man that holds the title in the black, and the man that formerly held it, but lost in March. Jerry Clarke trying to get it back here tonight. He's in the red. There's not a seat to be had here in this special event center, and they're starting to stand around the walls now.
You cannot afford to blink in this fight. I tell you, these guys are throwing everything so fast. rapid combinations. If you blink, you might miss half of a round on there.
We thought possibly that the 6th round might have been just a little bit of a coasting round for Jerry Clarke. We're watching him closely as we're halfway through the 7th now to see if indeed the altitude taking a little telltale signs here of Jerry Clarke, who slips and falls over the foot of Sklavos.
That's the first sign of a fatigue now. As he comes around, he let himself kind of get off balance. He didn't really have the endurance to be fresh enough to fight it. He just kind of had to fall down. He started out this round awfully fast, but he is letting up quite a bit now as the 7th round is starting to wind down.
You kind of have a strange feeling, if Jerry Clarke should come on and win this fight, that we might have number 3, not in the too distant future again.
I think that'd be a real good chance.
Jerry Clarke might ask for a little lower altitude next time, I think.
He'll probably want to go to Florida and fight on the beach. Clarke's kicks just don't seem to be nearly as crisp as they were earlier in the fight.
By the way, to just give you a little barometer of the number of kicks these youngsters are throwing each round, at the moment, Sklavos has thrown 12 and 10 by Jerry Clarke as you hear the bell at the end of round 7. Both fighters trudging to their corner again. Carl Sklavos across the way on the right side. Tom Gabbert, by the way, is the young man that's working with him, as we mentioned, along with Walt Mason. And in the other corner, this again is Jerry Clarke, who does not appear to be all that much in trouble as far as breathing is concerned, but again, some telltale signs you pointed out a moment ago, John.
Well, you know, the breathing may not be so labored, but the muscles look like to me they're starting to fatigue. The legs are looking like they're not as crisp and not as snappy as they were. He's slinging those kicks instead of delivering the kicks. And that really shows me that he's starting to really get tired.
Let's take it across the ring and go to the champion and see how he is holding up over there. Looks very fresh, very good. As you pointed out, at 4,000 feet at Twin Falls, this altitude not taking as much toll, maybe.
Looks like he's been out for a Sunday morning stroll.
Won the title in March and his first defense. These youngsters make me very ill when they're not even breathing hard after doing all of this. I walk from the hotel over here and I'm very tired. This is round 8, scheduled for 12 rounds. After another solid round, John Woolley, how about the scoring?
I gave that last round solid 1.109 win for Sklavos. I've got him up 68-5 to 67-5.
Keep in mind the 3 judges at ringside will be scoring this one tonight. The referee does not figure into the scoring on a 10-point must system. Spinning back fist off the shoulder. And again, some more spinning kicks by Clarke, who started that way in round 1. Sklavos tried to emulate him. It was almost say, hey, if you can do it, I can too. Seemed like, though, to me, about the 3rd round, he started to get himself back in what he wanted to do. And since that time, has had a very solid fight.
Sklavos has been fighting a very smart fight. He's been changing. He'll throw a lot of kicks, and then he'll back off and counter. Clarke is really doing a lot of waiting now. He's resting. There's no question about it. He is feeling the fatigue. And he's also probably feeling just a little shade of frustration. He hasn't been able to do a whole lot with Sklavos.
There's a good exchange by Clarke as he first landed the right and followed with the left hand. May have been caught mostly on the shoulder as far as the left hand is concerned, but the right hand got right in on the chest on Sklavos. Again, Clarke trying to kind of loop some punches in there, then followed it with the kick.
Good lateral movement. Every time you throw one of those kicks and miss, it takes something out of it. Even if you don't hit the guy, you still have to feel the effect of throwing that kick.
Clarke lunging, and again staying right at home, a little conservative now. Sklavos starting to get some dividends again. In the final 10 seconds of this, the 8th round. Scheduled for 12. They went 12 in March. Sklavos getting the title from Clarke, and Clarke would like to get it back. But he's got some more work to do, as we'll continue from Lake Tahoe in a moment. Again, started out very wild in rounds 1 and 2, and again he has continued here in round number 8, and Carl Sklavos has pretty well fended most of what he's thrown out there now, John.
Sklavos kept the right hand up there right where it's supposed to be, so that Clarke spinning back just caught right up on the pad, did no damage whatsoever.
Good look at the sting. Jerry Clarke as he comes out ready for round number 9. He's in the red pants. In the black is the champion, Carl Sklavos. As the scoring through 8 rounds, and now Sklavos is starting to take a little advantage on your card, John.
I've got him up now about 1.5 points. I gave him a 0.5 point advantage on round 8. It's just very slow but very sure. Carl Sklavos seems to be pulling away.
I'm Sam Smith along with John Worley, and we're at Harrah's, Lake Tahoe. Delighted to join you tonight. International Sport Karate Association Flyweight Championship. First defense by Carl Sklavos. And it's to the man that he got the title from. And in round number 9, it has been a tight one before Sklavos starts to be very patient, very conservative, and picking his spots now.
Looks to me that Clarke now is starting to fight in flurries. He's putting together in each 2-minute round about maybe 30 seconds of fighting. He's fighting for 5 seconds hard, and he'll rest for 15. Then he'll pick up another 5. But he's really showing the effects of the altitude here. There's no question.
Now, despite the fact of the fatigue, do we still see, of course, a very determined Jerry Clarke here? But sometimes the heart is willing, but the body just won't go, right?
I see him not having that same look of determination that he had in the first 3 or 4 rounds. And he's doing an awful lot of backpedaling. He wasn't doing that in the early going. Now, he may be trying just to save up and so he can come out and try to finish the last 2 or 3 rounds really strong. Sklavos hit him with a double kick then, and Jerry Clarke does not get hit with double kicks when he's fresh.
Again, Clarke, very little lateral movement. Trying to keep coming in, backpedaling here, trying to get Sklavos to come in on top of him and in charge. Nice little stretching exercise.
Oh, good combinations in by Sklavos. You know, Sklavos seems content to kind of fight a very slow-paced fight himself. He's not looking to go in here and knock anybody out. He's just going to score his points.
Sklavos in his 13 wins without a loss has only 4 knockouts as you hear the bell to end round 9. So he's not a man that will come out and expect to get the knockout. He expects to go the distance. And as we fought through 9 rounds of a scheduled 12-rounder, he's right on schedule to defend his title. Carl Sklavos again with an arsenal of weapons tonight, including the double kick you alluded to, John.
Well, he moved in, he touched low and just threw the round kick up there. And Clarke really could have avoided that very easily, but just didn't seem to have the freshness to do so. Clarke did come back with a nice jump back kick that you can see kind of shoved Sklavos back a couple of steps.
Now, can Clarke become a little more aggressive? I know he's very tired, but can he become a little more aggressive and maybe kind of take some of this away from Sklavos, John?
Well, you know, it again depends really on how much he wants it. His corner over there, Bill Slinker, is going to be really laying it on him about you've got to come back now. You've got 3 rounds to win this fight. Only 6 minutes, Jerry. You got to do it. And he's going to have to. He's going to have to finish really strong if he's going to win this fight.
Now, by the same token, Carl Sklavos, you indicated he is fighting within himself. He's doing what he has to do. A very solid fight. He will take no chances, I would assume.
I think that he will not fight. Not wild at all. He'll come along and be conservative and take what they let him have.
Another round for Sklavos?
Another round for Sklavos. 10-9 that last time around. As they heated up a little bit, maybe Jerry Clarke is trying to make his move now.
Well, by the same token, Carl Sklavos is coming out strong as well. So throw away the conservative tag, maybe.
What do we know?
I tell you what, this crowd has been entertained with this one tonight.
Well, this is not the kind of a brawl that you would see in some, you know, when you get some fighters in the ring. The crowd sometimes likes to see those wild sort of devil-may-care brawls. These guys fight very controlled and beautiful technique.
You see Sklavos just stepping out of the way of the kicks by Clarke. Clarke nicknamed the Sting, and when he is on his game, he certainly does have it both in the legs, in the kicks, and certainly in the fist. But tonight, they are lacking a little bit, even though that spinning back fist caught Sklavos right on the shoulder and may have just nipped off his chin.
Sklavos just steps in and throws punches that are only traveling about 3 inches and bouncing them off of Jerry Clarke's head. Not doing any damage, but they are racking up points.
Good combination. Straight left-hand jab, followed with a right hand. Steps away from the spinning back fist. Sklavos is just a solid fighter tonight.
Sklavos seems to have the type of toughness and the type of mental attitude that you maybe don't see among the lighter weight guys as often. You kind of equate that with guys that are middleweights. You know, middleweights are supposed to be able to take all this punishment. Carl Sklavos seems to me like he can take an awful lot of punishment without even hardly feeling it.
Closing seconds of the 10th round, Carl Sklavos making his first title defense. He may be indeed only 4 minutes away from defending that title against the man he got it from, Jerry Clarke. landscape around Lake Tahoe and got an artist to draw it. This is the way Carl Sklavos is performing in the ring tonight. He is truly an artist.
Once again, Jerry Clarke throwing that spinning back fist with just kind of lunging around, slinging around, kind of almost out of desperation. I don't know whether he feels like he's going to be able to win this thing on a decision. He's going to have to score a knockout.
Bill Slinker in the corner of Jerry Clarke was very, very direct when he says you have got to go fight for 2 rounds. As we look through the scouting on unofficially John Worley's card, it is top heavy now with Carl Sklavos. Where did it finally turn around after you had a 59, a very close 58-5? It was in the 6th round. After 6, it really started to turn Sklavos.
I've given Sklavos every round since the 6th round, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Most of those rounds were 10-9s rather than 9.5. So he has really run up the lead. We've got 2 rounds to go. Clarke just does not have much time. He's getting a warning now for holding.
So after 6th round, a tight fight, but now Sklavos taking control in the 11th, as he did after the 6th round. Clarke again with just a kind of a token left hand. Got to pause it out there.
Sklavos now starting to use that front leg side kick to try to take away the lunging right hand from Clarke. Once again, there's that double kick that Clarke caught. Didn't hurt him, but it hit him. He wouldn't get hit by that earlier in this fight.
Hillary Sandoval, along with Lena Gomez and Larry Carnahan, will be the judges that this fight should be in their hands if it holds what we've seen so far, as we're set for 12, and this is round 11. Spinning back fist again. That kind of punch there that could turn it around in a hurry, though, couldn't it?
Don't have to land but one of those on the chin, really. But Sklavos doesn't seem to be letting him hit him. He's seeming very sharp, pushing the action, even though he probably realizes he's ahead.
Closing seconds of the 11th. You've got to get all the credit in the world to Tom Gabbard, along with Walt Mason, working in that corner over there with the champion, Carl Sklavos. He tried to come out and tried to maybe emulate a little bit Clarke early. A lot of spinning kicks, a lot of spinning back fist, etc. And they really got him settled out after the 3rd. As Sklavos goes to his corner, and again, they really settled him down, and he is certainly fighting the fight that should certainly get him. Let's go over there and see how they think the fight's going.
Okay.
Wait on him. Be first.
You go out, you set the pace. You make this guy go hard. You got to make him work the whole 2 minutes. You've got to work the whole 2 minutes for me. You understand that? Okay. Got it. Last squirt.
Tom Gabbard telling Sklavos that he's going to have to work the whole time.
Side kick.
Bill Slinker across the way, working with Jerry Clarke. You still hear some of the audio coming out of the corner of the champion as you look on to the challenger here tonight and a former champion, Jerry Clarke. And this is the final 2 minutes of our fight tonight. And this crowd has been well entertained. Hope you have been as well on ESPN. As this is it, the first title defense for Carl Sklavos. And it is going to be academic. It's got to be a knockdown and a knockout here for Jerry Clarke, and your card for a win for Clarke here tonight.
I've got him up by 4 points. Yeah, he would have to score a knockout according to my scorecard. Now, we haven't seen the other guys. They may see it differently than I do.
It is unofficial, of course, the way we're giving it at ringside, but I have a feeling the man on my right certainly is going to be very close to what the other judges are seeing tonight.
Oh, double side kick.
So double kicking his way to a defense of the title here tonight. Carl Sklavos staying within his game. Now warning by referee Tony Thompson. Spinning back fist, caught him with an elbow.
That was a good call on Tony Thompson's part because, again, the spinning back fist did hit up on the wrist. Clarke kind of dug his head in there. That's a good way to get a cut. Oh, nice right hand by Clarke.
Once again, a quick reminder on coming up on June 23rd on a Tuesday night. It is Curtis Bush against Robert Visitation, the North American welterweight title hanging in the balance. You'll see it on ESPN as ISKA Championship Kickboxing continues.
Clarke is having the best round that he's had probably since the 6th round. He's landed some good solid right hands. I just think, again, if his conditioning had been such that he could have fought this type of a pace all the way through the fight, we may have had a different fight here.
Now, let me look ahead, and I'm being a little presumptuous, obviously, with Jerry Clarke in the ring, and any kind of a one punch could turn it around. I don't anticipate that right now Sklavos will look at Jerry Clarke at a very quick rematch. It looks like it'll be another appointment before Clarke would get into the shot, wouldn't it?
Clarke is going to have to really, he's going to have to work his way back into it. He's going to have to beat some people convincingly. He may even have to look at he may consider moving into a different division.
And there's the bell as our championship fight here in Lake Tahoe has come to an end. We'll find out. As Sklavos retained or Clarke taking it away, looks like the champion is onward and upward. We'll have the decision in a moment. Discussion going on the cards. Let's find out, however, how the decision goes. Is there a new champion or does the champ retain? Here's our ring announcer, Dan Walker.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Carnahan scores it 118.5 to 115. Judge Gomez scores it 119.5 to 117. Judge Sandoval scores it 118 to 115 for the winner, and still the ISKA World Flyweight Champion, Karol Sklavos. Sklavos.